Listen, we got Ransom here from the hip hop community, a dope artist, putting out new music. I believe it's called 1%. Y'all gotta pick that up. But right now, he's gonna hit me,
the Sweet Scientist pad, your hardest shot.
Like none of your music, you know what I'm saying? I don't like none of your music. I don't like the jersey, you know what I'm saying? I don't like none of this stuff you're coming with.
All right, say less.
Take it out on me, whatever you got.
Oh, okay, your body shot.
I tripped on something.
Nah, I ain't no trip.
I tripped. Go ahead, man.
That's clean floor.
I ain't Joe Budden, man.
That look better than Meek Mill to me.
You ain't even comparing that. Like,
we from Brooklyn, we're scrapping is part of life. So we happen to be the type of journalists to start a fight. I was raised in Gleason's, I was in the precinct, but I beat the case with my sweet pea defense. You drinking if you think you beating us. If I have to, I'ma put on Margarito's gloves. I'm in the bar place like I own it. What you expected? The way I seized the moment, they thought I was epileptic. The fight game can't survive without me. I throw shots that make fighters spit out their mouthpiece. Never days off, only days on. I represent the hood like I'm Trayvon. These moments in boxing are so proper, like when Floyd told Oscar he beat his whole roster. It's our action that speaks the loudest. Though we the sweet scientists, they ain't nothing sweet about us.
Yeah, I ain't got a front. Niggas respect heathens. Torment the game till niggas regret breathing. Shit is made up. Real niggas could tell. You ain't never been at odds with niggas who get even. Nah. Game is fucked up. A couple trash rooks and none of the vet season. Gun in the vet season. Praying to God I'm able to ride. You witnessing the greatest alive, nigga. Y'all know that I'm not finished yet. Steamed shrimp and a steak salad with no vinaigrette. These wimps get 8 lashes below chin and chest. Free glimpse of this great bastard. You know spit the best. Let's go. What a price to pay. Would write twice a day to be nice like today. Your type like to say that I'm like Michael Bay. But even a broke clock could be right twice a day.
Fight fans, what's going on? It's your boy Ak.
What's up? This is Barack, the boxing bully.
We are the Sweet Scientists on this 50.com, and today I guess it's a hip hop edition. Sweet Scientists, we got a special guest. It's not typical for us. He has no relation to the boxing world, but is a huge fight fan and is also a respected hip hop artist. One time for Ransom, folks.
Give it up.
You know, Rad, but I mean, we're a boxing show, but we're still tapped into the culture, and we want to talk a little bit about you, the artist, first before we get into the boxing thing. And a lot of people might know you as a solo artist, but we go a little further back to the beginning stages where you were part of a group called the A-Team, who were, I guess, affiliated with Clue, and your partner was Hitchcock, who's like a brother to me, and you guys are really popping, you know, back then. And still to this day on the internet, I see fans from them Hard Hood Classics mixtapes and all of that. And I guess that's where you guys started sizzling. Can you talk about that time in your life?
Oh man, that was
like as far as, I mean, I know that's broad, but
I remember one of my first press conferences when Kid Chocolate had just finished fighting. And he shot, and Hitchcock was with us.
Right.
He shouted out Hitchcock like, "Yo, I'm a big fan of y'all."
For sure. You're familiar with
right.
Pete. So I mean, I remember I was like in the studio with you guys, and obviously for those who don't know the history, you guys almost had a deal with Def Jam. I don't know the details of that. I just know from Hitch's perspective, because he was my friend, and then like, Jay-Z took over Def Jam and the whole deal fell apart. Supposedly it was with L.A. Reid, something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And what happened when you and Hitch, I guess, there wasn't like no statement, no song, just you guys were not doing music together?
It was kind of like, I don't want to say we grew apart, but I want to say that we started out as 2 solo artists. Like a lot of people don't, you know.
That knew each other.
Right. Okay. So we started out 2 solo artists. So it kind of was like an idea to put, you know, Buddens, me, Hitch, you know, in the form of group.
Jersey City thing.
Right. So that's what we did. So, you know, when Buddens kind of did his thing, me and Hitch was kind of left like, all right, well, we might as well just keep it going because we got
right now, Joe Buddens was popping.
Yeah, he went off, like, I think we pumped it up.
Right. Was it the same guys that kind of, I guess, found Joe Buddens, Webb and Nitty from Queens? Are those the guys that they were pushing behind you guys?
Yeah, not at first, you know, at first it was actually me and my boy Orlando. Right, yeah. It was our idea, like, yo, we should approach Joe Buddens and let's see if we could get this thing jumping. We approached him, he went with the idea, he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. and we did our first freestyle like maybe a week later after that. So, but when Pump It Up came out, that was a bigger record. Yeah, and he was kind of like, so we kind of was left, you know, I don't want to say out in the cold, but we was left to do our thing, and we had the buzz already together as the 18, so he was like, might as well just keep, you know, going forward like that. So. So when it kind of ended, it was kind of like, I wanted to do my thing. Like, I wanted to express different things in the music.
But why did it end? Just because you guys grew apart? Because according to the fans out there still to this day, a lot of them feel, not saying it's true, that you guys were better together than apart, and that you would have been, I guess, had a major deal or had more notoriety if that would have took place.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's true or if it's not true. I don't know. But what I do know is
it's
that
kind of like EPMD. Nobody really want to see Parrish. Nobody want to see Eric solo album.
Absolutely, I get it. I absolutely.
But that's just fans' point of view. That doesn't mean
it's true.
That they can't be successful.
They don't need to know the inner works,
the ins and outs, right?
And in the circle, what's going on,
right?
I think little people got in his ear, little people got in my ear,
right?
It wasn't on my part. It wasn't like, yo, you should go solo and do your own thing. It wasn't. That wasn't.
You didn't have a hidden agenda. It just happened organically.
Right. It just happened organically, like you said. We ain't never had no beat hits. Like my brother.
Right.
So we ain't had no beef for that.
And still don't to this day.
Yeah. I talk to him still.
Speaking of beef, you know, on records, you know, even though you guys had a great relationship with Joe Budden, afterwards you and him had decent, I guess, and you guys had a real issue that I guess was on records first and then lead to other things.
Right.
And I don't know if this is true, but supposedly it started with the record Family Reunion that Fab was on, Buttons, you and Hitch. The rumor was that Buttons called Hitch and said, I'm gonna put you on a record. Then he did the same with you, but didn't tell you Hitch was on it. Something like that. And then so you felt disrespected that you didn't know the details of the record. Then you guys started going at each other.
It was something like that, but that wasn't it. That was little. So you know, I didn't trip over no little shit like that. That started to kind of like, oh, what you doing? And then that's kind of started like the boulder getting rolling. I think like what put it over the top was, I think he was doing a blog or some shit like that.
Who's that?
Joe. Joe was doing a blog, and you know, I think, you know, in his living room and shit, one of his boys was like, yo, man, I really fuck with Ransom. And he started trashing me and shit.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, what's good? And shit, so I was like, yo, I'm just, you know, take off on him.
Right.
So that's what I did, and then started. But that's what really
what let it up. But then it led to something where you were incarcerated. You went to prison for a gun charge. I don't know how deep you can get into those details.
I mean, I already did.
Right. You did the same. So you're good. So how did that happen?
How it happened?
It's a long
that's
story.
his. Well, that's his end on how it happened. I was just on my block, you know.
And he came.
Right. So how it happened is more his
story.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just
minding your business.
I was minding my business. It came, you know, and shit happened.
No, I don't know what that is though. You got to feel me. I'm a fan. I'm sitting back like
some shots was fired.
Shots fired, not verbal shots like we do verbal shots.
No.
I used to do those other shots.
Right,
I do verbal shots now.
I used to do the other shots too. And that's kind of what happened.
Right.
So you know, I got in trouble. You know, they came to get me, and then you know, what kind of I got to put this out there because a lot of fans they know. You know, what really put it over the top as far as like the sentence was like the drugs. That's what really put it over the top. So it wasn't just. Yeah, I don't want to like, yo, Joe Budden just put me in jail. Like a lot of people don't know that when he came to get the gun.
That's the narrative that because of him coming to your house and led you to.
I mean, it did kind of led that. It started it, but
they dug deep and found other things.
Right.
I mean, you can't really blame another man for any kind of demise anyway, because.
I mean, if he didn't go, it wouldn't have happened at that time. It would have happened, but it wouldn't have happened at that time.
I guess so. But see, if he would have came to Ock's crib, Ock wouldn't have came out with a gun.
Right? No, I didn't have it.
So he wouldn't have got locked up.
I would have had boxing gloves. That's it.
No.
Ock would have came out the scrap.
That's not how. I didn't have a gun. I didn't have it on me, and I didn't intend to do it. They came.
You had to run and get it.
Right, so I'm like, let's fight. That's what let's fight.
You said we gonna shoot a fair one right now.
Bro, I mean, I was outmanned. I ain't even gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? So he had like 8-9 people with him. I was just chilling. So, you know, I had 2 people with, but they wasn't, you know, they wasn't that type of people. So I'm like,
so maybe
let's just fight.
Right, maybe Buttons didn't even think that it would even escalate.
He didn't.
He just showed up.
He went there just to pop shit on my block.
Right.
He went there, yo, I'm on Ransom block, he ain't out here. I was out there. And it kind of, you know what I'm saying?
It went left.
Yeah.
So did you help, while you were incarcerated, did you did you at that time? I guess when you first were sentenced, were you blaming it on Buttons?
Oh hell yeah, he was doing push-ups right here. One Budden,
I was
two
obsessed.
Buttons.
I was obsessed.
You wanted to kill him at that point.
I was obsessed. Yeah, that's all I was. I was just like, yo, I got to get
What
my
made
hands
the
on.
change? If you did change.
Yeah, I changed. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Prison. That's what changed. Yeah, prison.
How much time did you do?
I ended up doing like, what was it, 18, 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years, yeah.
And
Full though, and came home on probation for 3, not for parole.
Parole, yeah.
Me looking from the outside when you came home from prison, it seemed like you were reserved, quiet, and you just dove right into the music.
Yeah.
Nobody tapped that butt though.
Oh hell, I was tapping chins. It was like, I'm dying for that. Like you'd have heard another story. Like,
You would have never came home.
never. I'd have been give me life, give me triple life. I'm dying up in there. I'm killing somebody.
When you came back, I mean, you started putting out some heat, and that's when you were recognized as a solo artist. It wasn't A-Team, it was Ransom.
Yeah.
Who helped you with that?
Orlando, I got to say, when I came home, it was just me, Orlando. We hit the ground running, and I concentrated on, the music. You know what I'm saying? So I got to say, prison changed, like made me, made me better.
So when you came out, was you coming at any artists?
I come at, I come at anybody at any time. I think anybody know that. Like if I have an issue with you, musical issue, I'm gonna say it.
Are there any artists right now that you personally don't like, that if they said one little thing you'd be ready
Personally,
to shoot?
If they looked at you wrong.
You will put out a
A
record.
lot.
Can you name a couple?
I mean, I don't like people. Sometimes I don't like the look of a motherfucker. I don't like that. I don't like the way he look. But that's not a good reason. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just. I don't like a lot of way these motherfuckers look. Not just the young, the old motherfucker. I don't like the way he look. Nah, not just that. I see an old nigga. I be like, I don't like the way his face look. I'm gonna diss his ass. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a good reason and shit. So I think the old Ransom would have been like, yo, he getting it, slug, boom, boom, boom. As far as verbals, boom, boom, boom. But now, like, nah, you can't diss somebody because you don't like the way he look.
In the past, you done record. You were on Yayo's mixtape, right? Talk about your relationship with him and G Unit.
That's a crazy one. That's crazy. I fuck with Banks, Yayo. Me and Yayo, I definitely had a relationship. It's crazy, a crazy story. I don't know.
Yeah, you can talk about anything.
Fuck it, yeah. I'm gonna just talk quick. I was fucking with like Cam at the time. Going back and forth and shit, do a couple things with Cam. And one day Cam was like, "Yo, man, you fuck with Yayo and shit." I'm like, I don't fuck with him, but I fuck with him, but we did a couple records and shit. He's like, "Yo, nah, I can't fuck with you now." I'm like, "Nigga, you ain't paying me you ain't giving me cutting no checks and shit." So I fuck with who I want to fuck with. Like I ain't in that beef. That's when Cam and G Unit was doing it. So I ain't know. I'm like, man, I ain't into that. So I fucked with G Unit enough with that.
So you ended your relationship.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck. Like I ain't got no relationships. I'm a one man. I'm a terrorist. I go.
Speaking of Cam, have you heard the records with him and Mace?
And who won that? Him or Mace? Everybody saying Mace.
First I was like, yeah, Mace. Felt his record felt more effective. You know what I'm saying? Looking back at it, I don't think his record was more truthful. Cam doesn't have a sister.
It's probably so. How do you?
You just say he fucked his sister, but he don't got a sister.
Right, but it's effective to.
I think
to people that know him personally, but the people that listen and fans, they don't know what's true or not.
Until Cam says, I don't have a sister, which he just did. He said, I don't got no sister. He's lying. So that makes you question everything else that he said.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, everything Cam said is true. So you hear certain things, so you know what's true and what's not. So that I changed my mind. I'm like, yeah, that makes shit. Get that shit out of here. Shit's not true.
So Cam took that.
I ain't saying that. I guess Cam wins by default.
Right.
So you being a lyricist, so to speak, I guess I could put you in that category without saying you're a cannabis or nothing like that, because you're still cool, but you're a lyricist, right? And nowadays, we're probably around the same age. It's tough to say that you don't appreciate. I guess you don't like a young artist's music, because then you looked at as an old man. You're an old head. You don't understand this new rap.
Right.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop? I mean, there are a lot of young artists I like. Like the Kendrick, J. Cole's, his kid Nick Grant, young, but still dope. So it's not that only like guys, artists from the 90s,
Right.
you know, 80s. How? I mean,
They
what do you
use
feel?
that. They use that young old shit as the narrative, but that ain't what it is. I don't give a fuck how old he is. That shit whack. If it's whack, it's whack. I don't give a fuck. Oh, you hating on the youth? No, if he was old, it would be whack. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
Right. Can you
On the
name
other
some of
hand-
the artists you don't like? Let's be honest. Let's put it out there.
I don't want to say the artists I don't like. I mean the music.
Music, yeah, that's what I mean. What music you're not liking?
We
out
just
there?
riding over here in the car and I heard what's that G-Eazy song? I'm like, this shit ass to me, personally. I'm
See,
like,
I don't even know who the hell that is, so I'm not tapped
it was
in.
on the radio. and shit. I'm like, I don't like this shit.
So you,
Not nothing personally against him. I just like this my time. I don't like this shit.
are you one of those artists who say that this is not real hip hop today?
I ain't one of them artists. Because I think a little deeper than that.
Right, because I mean, I don't like the state of hip hop myself. I don't like the
it's
feminization of hip hop.
It's not their fault.
I don't like the content of hip hop.
It's not their
But
fault.
I'm not gonna say this is not hip hop. You know,
I'm not
because
gonna
it's
say
something
that.
that I don't like. It's
Right.
still hip hop, and it evolved in this kind of manner that I don't like.
Right.
But it's still hip hop.
It's not their fault though. They,
Why?
they didn't push
Whose
the.
fault
They're
is
not. They didn't push the narrative. You know the
men
execs,
behind it. Execs.
the execs, the
Oh, the white man.
DJs,
Right.
the man.
The
You know what
man.
I'm saying, to put it bluntly, but yeah, they don't. If I'm a kid, right, and I know I can make a top 10 record in my bathroom saying bullshit, I'm gonna do that instead of busting my head open trying to create some shit. If everybody rapped like Nas and was successful, people would try to rap like Nas.
That's true.
That's just the way it is. So
What about the artists that don't rap like these young dudes and do?
they're not making the money. They on the outside, it doesn't look as cool because the narrative is different. You know what I'm saying? That's the cool shit that's being pushed. Oh, this is cool. It's on the radio. It's in the strip clubs.
Cool, yeah.
Well, you know, this is a large world, so the world don't exist around Hot 97 and 105 and the strip club.
Do you
Deeper
feel
than
it's
that.
shifting a little bit, being that Fab and Kiss are doing records together, and they stood the test of time. You know, especially Fabulous. I would say that I don't think he's ever fell off, so to speak, and still putting out good music. I mean, is it just that there's too little of those artists that are successful for people to aspire to be that
I
type
think
of artist?
there's a million dope ass rappers. It's just who's gonna play those rappers. You have to go find the artists you like, Nick Gred and Sci-Hi. You know what I'm saying? You got to find these people. You know, instead of the DJ bringing it to you like back in the day. Look, before the internet, the DJ had to bring you the hot shit. You had to trust the DJ like this is the hot shit.
It's the execs fault and the DJs.
Yes, I mean, yes, not the execs as far as like A&R and shit like that. They like pawns in the shit. I'm talking about the higher ups. You know, don't
juggernauts.
right? The guys that's you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Like they're the one that's pushing the narrative.
Right.
You know.
So you see the trend in boxing to have a hip hop artist walk them out. You know, to do the famous ring walk to the ring.
Yeah. Always wanted to do.
Who would you walk out? Like, which boxer would you like to walk out? You want to get that call, yo, Ransom.
Bud,
huh?
Bud, man.
Oh,
Hell
just so
yeah,
happens
that's
to
my
be the
guy.
best fighter in the world.
That's my guy, man.
So you know what? I've heard you say that Adam Pryor, the Hawk, is your favorite fighter.
Yeah.
At least I've read that.
Yeah.
If you had to compare yourself to a fighter, you know, being a hip hop artist, who would you be?
Aaron motherfucking Pryor.
You're the Adam Pryor
I'm
hip
the
hop.
Hawk.
Right. Oh, okay.
I'm the Hawk, man.
Yeah,
I'm
you gonna
coming.
swoop down. You go.
He was relentless, man.
Right.
He was an animal. You know what I'm saying?
Which is, I guess that would be your style of music and your approach in the
Right,
booth.
right.
Animal. I mean, you talked about the state of hip hop, but are you discouraged? I mean,
Not at
what
all.
are you still?
Not at all.
Are you still committed to the music?
Yeah. Because I see everybody's like, yeah, man, you're older. You should try to adapt your styles. I'm not adapting. I'm making money doing what this is doing. You know what I'm
Jadakiss
saying?
ain't never changed his flow.
At all. So you know what I'm saying. So if he did, it'd be kind of whack. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear Jadakiss speed. I want to hear Kiss, the Kiss I love, like that. I want to hear that. It's all about authenticity to me.
Right.
Like, so if I hear an old rapper I'm like, that's not authentic.
Right.
And the young people, you hear it too. They making fun of you. Like, this shit is, come on, you old rapper trying to, be yourself.
So
man.
would you say Jay-Z's an anomaly because this new album is nothing like he's ever done before. It's more like talking on a record. It's more, I guess, Kendrick's lane. Not exactly the same, but it's just real. I don't know, centric or something like that. Yeah,
Centric's a good word.
Spoken wordish.
Right,
maybe?
right. So I mean,
Right.
he's Is it because he's just that special that?
I don't think it's
No?
No, I'm not saying
Right,
that
nah.
she's not special. I'm just saying that I wasn't in the studio with him, but
Right.
on the outside looking in, I know little nuances and
Right.
you know, maybe I think his pen slowed down a little bit, so you're hearing that and people just be like, well, it's Jay-Z, it's poetry. You know what I'm saying? I think his pen slowed down a little bit.
He's getting old.
He's getting up. It's like boxing, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Hand speed getting, so I think it's his flow a little, so it sounds like spoken word. No, his flow a little off a little bit.
It is the
And
same.
it's because his Hove is spoken word. and
He
shit.
gets away with it.
I barely
I'm
even
not
listened.
saying-
A couple songs that I did here, it was off. Some of the
I
flow was.
I
and
listen
that's-
different.
Now I
That's
always
just-
said Jay-Z's flow was timeless.
It
You
was
know, 'cause
special.
he's been out since the '90s,
Right.
and he's just an
Reinvented
anomaly for real.
Yeah,
Right.
nah, because he's that powerful. I'm not the album was great. I love the album, but I listen
Yeah, other
different.
things.
You know, the casual fan is like, yo, Jay-Z on his #1 game. Me, I'm a competitor, so I'm like, man, I'm trying to catch this guy.
Right.
So I hear a little chink in his armor. I'm coming for him.
And you just dropped the project 1%. It's
Right.
called. It's out now.
There's no off flows on there.
It's one.
All those flows are hitting. It's no
off.
Nah, that shit is just.
You know what? Just
Catch your feet.
before we close that chapter, even though all of that drama went on, you finally mended the relationship with Joe Budden.
Yeah.
And he has a popular show now called Everyday Struggle that he actually mentioned your album.
Right,
He
yeah.
said that it was hard.
Right,
So
right.
where are you guys now?
We good. Yeah, we good. Definitely.
I thought he could have said a little bit more than that. It's a
Yeah.
5-second plug.
I take what I can get, man. Considering where we came from, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From where we was at to where we at now, I take what I can
What you
get.
got lined up as far as hip hop?
Another album. I'm trying to get a Grammy, man. I need a nomination or something.
Right.
So you know, I think this 1% is setting me up, you know, for bigger things.
And you're going to keep putting music out.
People now they like, let me take another listen to it. So my next project, I'm trying to win a Grammy.
Would you ever consider, if you had an opportunity to do an album with Hitch, like a Hard Hood
Of course.
Classics 4, would you do it?
Yeah, of course.
Would you do an album?
We talked about that.
Would you do an album with Adrian Broner?
Yeah, that's I fuck AB, man.
You think you got skills?
I'm motherfucking tired. That's what I'm motherfucking tired. Nah, that's my man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got skills?
Yeah, cause
Right?
he all right,
Right?
man.
He's okay,
He's
right?
all right,
He's
man.
okay.
His
Well,
flow
it's
is
a little, it's a
His
little
flow.
easier to call him okay now with what's out there.
right. You can say that.
I'm
not
saying
taking.
that.
I'm not gonna
saying
take nothing away
I'm
from
not-
him.
I'm not
I'm
gonna say that.
not
I'm not
saying
gonna
he's
say
bad, but would he be considered
No.
okay in the 90s?
No, I'm just. But
Put yourself there.
We're not
Nah,
artists. We're not there. We can't do that. You can't mix the two
Different
eras.
times.
Yeah, you can't mix the two
yeah,
eras.
now
But we're talking about the flow, the delivery.
It's,
you know,
it's
like
confident. It's
right.
sharp.
And
Right.
we're not
Some point.
expecting much.
Right.
I believe that too.
Right,
We're
right,
not
right,
expecting much from
right.
a boxer. Then when you hear that, you're like, oh snap.
So would you say
Yeah, aight.
would you say
Right.
he's the dopest boxer that because we make all our
Absolutely.
boxers rap mostly.
Right.
Yes.
You would say he's better than Brian Jennings.
Everyone.
Okay.
Everyone we've ever heard rap.
Hey,
That's a
he's
boxer.
sharp. He's all right.
Yeah, he's actually talented.
Let's talk boxing now, man.
Yeah,
You're a big fan.
That's why I'm here, man. For
And-
real. I love
and-
rap, but
How big
Boxing.
was boxing this year, 2017?
one of the biggest years
In a long time.
In a long time. It was, boxing was kind of, and then boom.
Decline.
Yeah, great fights, man.
So 2017, what do you think was the most important fight? Didn't have to be the best fight, but on paper, the most important fight
man.
in 2017.
I know it's cliche, but the Canelo and Triple, man.
I
That shit was
can't get
just-
around that.
It's
Can't
cliche.
really
I
get
wanted to
around
try
it.
to dig deeper, but
Nah, can't.
that was a huge fight.
Also, there's another fight that I think was important, and it involved Triple G, and it was the Daniel Jacobs fight.
yeah.
Only because I think that was his breakthrough fight. The way Danny performed against Triple G. Think about it. Now he signed a deal with HBO and Eddie Hearn. He's
Who you got
considered
in that one? This is interesting. Who
Who did I had Jacobs winning that fight.
I had Jacobs
I had Jacobs
I
winning
had
that
Jacobs
fight.
winning as well.
I had Jacobs winning. Now, this is what I like when I don't like to judge the fight while I'm watching it. I judge it. This is how I judge it while I'm watching it because I like to, enjoy the fight. I say I'd rather be this guy
Right.
than not be that guy.
Right.
So in that fight, I still would have rather been Triple.
Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
would have
you
rather
would've
been
been
Triple
Triple
G
G.
in that fight, even though he lost the fight. I just think he was. I'd rather be him in
I
that
heard
fight.
people say that.
Right,
I understand
the
that.
pressure, the mental
Jacobs
pressure.
outboxed him. Probably
Absolutely.
more
But he
rounds.
had a harder,
Absolutely.
but he worked
He had a
harder.
harder time
but
doing
he
it.
got hurt. throughout the fight,
Right.
a couple of times throughout the fight. So
Right,
it's kind of
right.
tough saying I would rather be
Right.
him, but he did outbox Triple G. And I
On
did
points,
see
he
the-
won by points, but
Yeah.
the eye test
test,
never
right.
lies. So I
Right.
look, and I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I'd rather be Triple.
Right.
I look at facial expressions. I look at
I
the
think
body.
He seems to not get hurt.
I think that's why a lot of people, the people that had, most people had Triple G winning that fight, though a lot of people considered it close, because of what he's saying. I think when you look at the fight, the narrative of the fight,
Right.
Triple G was fresh.
It looked
Danny-
better.
It looks like Dan had
Now, if you judge it the next day on
on
I
rounds,
think if you did
score
boxing
rounds.
like that,
Right.
Daniel Jacobs wins
Daniel
that
Jacobs
fight
won.
because if you're looking at it and you're scoring points, he wins that fight. But just first looking at it,
Right.
I'm like triple. I'd rather be that guy.
It seems like more people are saying Danny Jacobs won rather than Canelo won, and Canelo got the draw.
Right. That fight is an interesting fight, man. There's a lot of nuances and stuff that people like the casual fan don't see.
You're talking about the Jacobs, Triple
talking
G
about
Canelo.
Right.
So how did you see that playing out? Because I got hammered on social media.
Yeah, I see.
Because I did
that.
see Canelo win.
I see that.
And because I judge a fight by rounds. I'm usually at the fights live. We're blessed to be covering the fights
Right.
live, so it's hard to judge it in the arena.
Right.
So I watch it the next week. And after watching it the next week, I actually gave Canelo an extra round, and I was being really trying to be unbiased. I'm kind of tied in with Canelo's team, but when I'm watching and judging a fight, I put that to the side, and I thought he won. But I'm not arguing with a draw. If Triple G would have won by a point or so, I wouldn't have
Can't
been mad
argue
at
with
that.
It was a close fight, so why are we calling it a close fight a robbery?
I don't like.
Especially
I
at
hate
a
that.
draw. That
I
is
hate
so ridiculous.
The pissed me off the Andre Ward and Crusher fight.
yeah.
He got robbed. He didn't get robbed. He just, it was close. Like you
It was a
said,
close
it was a
fight.
close
Right.
fight.
It was a close
man.
fight.
Close fight.
It goes that way.
Right.
All right. It goes that way. All right.
Right.
So with the triple fight, I'm like, at first look, I'm like Triple G, he's just.
Yeah.
He's a beast. He's
relentless.
Stop.
It's the mental pressure he puts on. He
Right.
don't let you. He's just there.
Right.
So it's like he breaks his opponent down, and I see it in their face. Like
Right.
I don't think he wants too much more of this. And I also judge fights like if we had another 3 rounds, who would?
Right. If it's
Who
back
was
in
fresher?
the day,
Right,
15 rounds.
who
Right.
would last? And Triple G,
Triple G.
man.
I would say that
Triple
as
G.
well.
He's just. But like you said, if you, I like to go back the next day and score. Canelo might have squeaked the draw out. He fought back. He landed with the cleaner punches.
Cleaner punches.
Just couldn't hurt him. man.
Right now, I can't remember. I actually was talking to Max Kellerman about this last week.
That's my
The
boy, I
fact that I don't think I've ever seen this many weight classes popping at the same time in boxing.
Yeah.
Because we talk about heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. You got junior middleweight and middleweight and super middleweight.
Right.
Because you got the Charlos, and welterweight is still one of the most
Dominant.
dominant. Divisions out there. You got Thurman, Garcia, Spence. Bud just moved up to welterweight.
47.
How do you feel about the welterweight division? Who's one besides Bud? We know he's our
boy
top
right
dog,
there. My
but
boy.
there's still a lot of big fights out there for him to have.
Yeah. One of my favorite fights. I know he's not at 147. I just had to shout him out. Mikey Garcia, man.
Right.
One of my favorite fighters.
He's
man.
one of our favorites.
Absolutely.
I love Mikey
One of the
Garcia.
best fighters in the world right now.
To me, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Top pound for pound.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
on
he's
my
up there.
list. He's on my
Top
my
five.
list.
For me.
For me,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Mikey
funny you say that.
Garcia, man.
And see, that's why
That's how I know you know boxing.
I told you,
Nah, I'm on my
I
shit,
told
man.
I told you, Grand. Nah, he's not. He knows boxing.
love boxing.
He knows
I'm
boxing.
on my shit.
And that right there
see
to
that.
tell you, because a lot of people don't have Mikey on the list, but you got
Top five,
those
man.
those real hardcore fans that put him on that
love
list.
Mikey
So now we know we can go there. What about Rigo versus Lomachenko?
I'm glad you
Let's
went
go
there.
December 9th. What's up?
Yeah,
Wait, before
I
we
was
go
about
there,
to-
wait.
I
Before
gotta
we
introduce
go
it.
there,
I gotta-
Puerto Rican.
Can you show some damn
Hold
respect
up.
for the
Can't
legend's
skip
last
that.
final
Can't
fight?
skip that?
Yeah. So
Cotto
let's
was
talk
close.
about Miguel Cotto's
Four-weight
career
division
and how do you feel about it?
Man, Hall of Famer, first ballot. Put him in right now as a fighter, man. He fought the hard fights. He won some, he lost some. I do think that
Never
the
ducked
margarita.
anybody.
I think the margarita
Took a lot. Yeah, Margarito took a lot.
That
out of
shit,
it.
that shit took a
It
lot
changed
out of
him.
him. But he still won after that.
Right. And
So-
he became middleweight champion.
Right,
of the world.
so
he beat
that-
Sergio Martinez.
That shows a lot.
With questions.
Right. Yeah, you
I see. We got a Cotto hater.
He's a Cotto hater for sure.
We got a Cotto hater.
No.
Okay.
First of all, I don't hate no man.
Right
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't hate no man, but
You always throwing little shots at Miguel Cotto.
only truth. Only truth. I'm only gonna
What's
say
the
truth.
truth?
I'm gonna let Cotto's team know how you freaking can't even give this guy a moment.
So
But I'm
you
gonna
had a-
ask you the hardest question that I asked all fight fans about Cotto. Who was better, Felix Trinidad or Miguel Cotto? If you had to put the best Puerto Rican fight up on him,
Go Cotto, man.
Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, and I
I
might be.
or what are you saying?
I'm saying,
Yeah.
obviously Miguel was a little bit more decorated because he was in the sport a little longer. I
think he
and has more accolades.
fought tougher fights.
Right. But at 147, when those guys were in their prime, who would win that fight?
Didn't Tito have a little issue with his gloves
Nah,
too?
nah,
Yes,
nah,
he did,
nah,
man.
That was
Yes,
that was they didn't like the way it wasn't nothing illegal. Nassim Richardson just didn't like the way he wrapped his hands, so they re-wrapped it. But there was nothing illegal in there. He just didn't like the way he
No,
wrapped
man,
it.
because Vargas said that them shits felt like
Man,
stones
no,
hitting
it's
his.
not. Tito,
hard, man.
Tito, you
Trinidad
just hit
Oh,
hard.
nah,
He just hit hard. Man.
He hit B-Hop hard. That's something. He hit him hard.
That's another type of animal right there.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
B-Hop's
saying? Fought in that-
special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
60 years old, then was still
I
fighting.
think Trinidad had more power, that left hook, and more popularity. But the better boxer is Cotto.
Yeah,
All
Cotto.
around.
Yeah,
better
he fought the
boxer.
tougher fight. He fought the tougher fights.
So look, before we go, we got to talk about the heavyweight division.
Right,
It's
right.
finally back, right?
Love it.
His boy, well, he's a friend to the room. Wilder made a big statement recently, knocking out Stavern the way he did in the first round. For those who didn't believe about his power, I guess you have to believe now.
I don't believe about that.
No?
Come on, we know boxing. Man.
Right.
And I know, as you said, that's your boy.
Right.
He'll probably knock me the fuck out.
Right.
You're not going in with AJ and
doing
throwing them wild ass. You're not doing that. You're gonna get knocked out fast. His technique needs improvement.
This is what I say on that. I say that it's never really the punches that they call wild that hurts the fighter. It's always the straight right, boom,
Always.
That's true.
or the precision left hook, boom.
I agree.
Then
After he hurts
anything
him.
else,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
all
can-
hell
I
breaks
can
loose.
agree with
But
you.
that's almost like any other fighter.
What-
But think about it. He's 6'7". His
Right,
arms
he
are
was
long.
awkward. Yeah,
So
I get
when
it.
Floyd, know he has a knockout and then he throws hooks.
Right. It's tight.
Right. But when a 6'7" guy
He's long.
who started
hurt.
boxing in 21, it's gonna be a little wide.
Got you.
You know,
But
but
you
what
think
got
that
you
works
there-
with AJ? You think that's gonna get him over?
What I'm saying is he only does it after he got you hurt.
Right.
Right.
See, because the first fight with Stavern, he fought a brilliant boxing match.
he did.
He didn't do wide shots because he didn't really knock him out.
Right.
He didn't knock him out, so he had to.
All right. Well,
That's a good point.
That's a great point. But I would say his chin a little. He's been
got hurt a
touched.
couple
He's
times.
been
Yeah,
touched.
yeah. And so
by
has AJ,
journeyman.
though. I mean,
AJ's been, but
I think everybody in the
Heavyweight division.
all right, could get touched.
I know Deontay can get knocked out, but I know
Yeah,
AJ can get knocked out,
Right.
and that's why I love that fight.
Right.
Right.
But AJ showed me something against
Klitschko.
He showed me something when he got hit and he went down. I was like, oh,
Yo,
this might be this
AJ
might be a
showed
wrap.
that he was a dog.
Right.
Yeah,
and he was a
showed
dog. I didn't know he was a dog.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Neither did I.
I didn't know that.
Neither did I. I know he was powerful.
I didn't know he was a dog.
Right.
See, Bud's a dog. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Spencer's a
But
dog.
it's the dog.
Right, yeah.
So if AJ and Wilder fought today, you would pick AJ to win easy.
Easy.
Now,
What if Spence and Bud fought?
At 47?
Yeah.
I'm going with Bud, man.
but
Spence is
it'd
a
be a
dog.
tough test. It'd be a tough test. I mean, I would love to see. Look, obviously,
I don't want
Bud
to
is
see
one of
that
my
fight.
favorites.
I don't want to see that shit right
Not
now.
right now.
I don't want to see that right now.
No
I
time
want them
soon.
both to
time soon.
flourish
Yeah.
separately.
Maybe be that 154 down the line.
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
years
yeah.
down
When
the line.
we don't give a fuck no more.
I totally agree with you. Give me one fight that you're looking forward to seeing in 2018. If you only can pick one fight,
Right.
two fighters to fight each other, what's the fight?
Me personally, and just right off the top of the head, I gotta go Spence Thurman, man.
Okay.
I need to
That's a
see
good
that.
one. Yeah, it's a
man.
good fight.
I need to
That's a
see
good
that.
fight.
Can you give me your top 5 boxers of all time?
This is always a difficult question because I got your favorite fighter is not always the
best
great-
fighter. That's
right,
okay.
right. Of course,
That's a
you know
question.
the Hulk, Ali, Hagler, Floyd, man. I can't believe I almost forgot Floyd.
Only one
That's
other
hard.
person mentioned Floyd. Steven Espinoza.
Oh, it's
Why
my
would you not
favorite.
put Floyd? Floyd is
People just don't think
Floyd is
one of the
Floyd is
greatest.
one of my favorite fighters of
I
all
think,
time.
I think he's the best. You know,
I think he's the
if
best. I think he's the greatest
think he's-
fighter of all time.
So do I.
It's
And
tough-
Sugar Ray Robinson, that's my
There's so
favorite.
many
There you
great
go.
fighters.
Beautiful.
It's tough to pick. But one thing you've never really done, at least I've never heard you talk about other artists that inspire you or that you like. I
That's
want
true.
to hear your favorite 5 hip hop artists of all time.
That's true. Oh yeah, but Nas is one for me. Cool G Rap, Jay-Z, Big Daddy Kane.
Vanilla Ice.
He's
I know y'all did a song together.
He'll probably be 798 on the list.
That's not bad.
Actually, for him, man, ain't bad.
798.
I'm gonna have to push him down. I'm gonna have to push him down a couple of
Let him
slots.
finish. You got one more slot.
I got one more slot. Put Biggie in the 5th slot.
That's what I'm
I mean, you can't lose by putting him there. You know what I'm saying? But Nas is that by far for me. You know what I'm saying?
There you have it, folks. Listen, go get his project, 1% Bars. I listened to it, dope album, and I'm looking forward to, you know what I mean, hearing music from you.
Man,
and
I
seeing you
appreciate
at
it,
a
man.
fight, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. I come out, man. I know I ain't been able to get to Vegas and shit. I ain't,
Right.
you know, like y'all. I know y'all in this. I'd be saying like y'all motherfuckers.
But
fuck,
we had
bro,
to-
like,
Well, we gotta go to Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
that's what we gotta
Yeah,
do.
that's-
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
And
Ball
we had
players.
to pay to get in these fights. We wouldn't be able to get in. You know what I mean? So
Oh, I
this is
need to
media
have
access.
y'all job then. Fuck, I'm doing this shit.
All right, the Sweet Scientist, Ak, Barack, Ransom. We out of here.